Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Palermo, and my co-host here, Tom Delisle and Joe Bella, with another episode of the exciting Lawrence History Project. And today we're going to be talking about the Lawrence Common, called the Campagnone Common. And it's hallowed ground. There's quite a lot of history there, quite a lot of stories. I don't know if we can get to all of them today, but we're going to try. So this is episode 1 of 2. We're going to have a 2-part series. Joe has the vast resources, deep resources, has contributed quite a lot of photos and a lot of knowledge and story, as has Tom, who's expert photography, master photographer. So, you guys have anything to add to that? I can't think of anything else. Should we get started, yeah?
We'll get started. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, my wife Esther is preparing an amazing meal. I left the house and the kitchen is just steaming with paella.
Oh, yeah.
She's got fish and linguiça and everything, and they're making a fantastic meal. That's what we do, by the way, after we leave here. We go to my house. My wife Esther makes us a delicious meal. And then we go home, take a nap, right? That's what you do when you're in your 70s, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, let's get the show started. Oh, yes. Now, Joe brought this. Joe, you want to explain this?
Right. I think that's either 55 or 56.
It's in the Common, too.
Yeah, on the Common. 1956. Eisenhower was running for president, and my father and I went. My mother and sister stayed home. My father and I went, and the Common was crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on my father's shoulders. He wanted me to see nearly everything. And then we were quite distant from the stage as it was, because the Common was packed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was his first visit, in fact, to the city. It was his first visit.
That's a great memory for you.
Yeah.
And all I remember, I don't know what he said, but all I remember was that long coat, the beige coat that he used to wear. That's all I remember seeing.
Yeah.
From a distance.
The Army greatcoat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I was 10 years old at the time.
And on the far left, I think that's ex-mayor John Buckley. It looks like him.
And also looks like Saltonstall next to him on the left. But the second from
Saltonstall?
to the right of the one on the left.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like Senator Saltonstall.
Was it Adlai Stevenson that he ran against? Do you know? I forget who Ike ran against.
Let's see, 56, I think it was Stevenson.
Was it Adlai Stevenson?
Or was it 52? I can't remember. I can't remember. I was just a baby.
Yeah.
52, yeah. So, I think President Truman came to the Common too, but that must have been before, maybe 52.
I think he dedicated the monument to the Campagnone brothers.
Oh yes, and we'll get to the Campagnone brothers shortly. There's quite a story about why it's called the Campagnone Common. We'll get to that in this thing. It's quite a touching story. Oh, here's a nice pastoral picture of the beautiful, beautiful pond.
Too bad it's gone.
It's gone now, unfortunately.
I remember when we were growing up, I don't think I ever saw water in it. You'd probably have to go back this far. It was all broken bottles.
Well, that's the problem.
That's the problem, yeah.
You know, you have a beautiful pond like that.
Yeah.
Kids can go in. My father used to go swimming there when he was a kid. And my father would have been 104 years old.
Oh, the bandstand.
Oh, the bandstand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, another thing that's long gone.
gone. Yeah.
So, you know, of course, they didn't have CD players, internet, TV in those days, the old days. So you go to the Common
Yeah.
and you hear a concert, you know,
Yeah.
music.
They used to play.
Parks are really not what they used to be,
No.
except if you go to a big city like Boston. Boston is a real Common.
Oh,
You can go spend a whole Sunday afternoon in a Common.
Oldest one in the country.
Yeah.
Is it?
First
yeah,
one.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
Swan boats. And
Swan
everything.
boats. They still do the Shakespeare on the Common near the Boston one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I go there often. I'm always there.
But they should have left that bandstand. There's a lot of history with that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of history.
Now the Common got started back in what year, Joe? Is that
1848.
And you were telling me that the Essex, it was the
Essex.
Essex Company?
Right. Before that year, they offered 17 plus acres to the then town of Lawrence. It wasn't the city at the time.
Yeah.
Just to the town. The town said, no, we don't want it. We can't afford it.
I was thinking about that. You know,
They said,
you
"We don't
told me
want
that.
it.
Said, we don't want
We
it.
don't want it.
We don't want
so
any
they
stinking
turned
part.
it down.
Yeah.
And then at the time, it was the Essex Company, because the Essex Company was who built the city.
Mm-hmm.
Later, the city, back early on, it was 1847. It was the town of Lawrence, after a few other names that didn't make it. The new city, Merrimack, and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They finally decided on Lawrence because of the Lawrence family, Abbott Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
But Essex Company, they controlled it. They said to the town, do you want the Common, get 17 plus acres? And they said no.
I think I have an idea why. I read, you have to picture what that must have been like in 1847.
Yeah.
Just picture northern Maine. It's like about 20 miles off the interstate in deep woods.
Yeah.
I was reading, it was swampy. Farmers had a big manure pile in there. They
Where the
used to
Common
cut,
is?
yeah, they used to cut cordwood and stuff. And they said, hey, why, we have a nice big manure pile, we can cut cordwood, why, and then we're going to have to maintain it. We're going to have to maintain it out of our taxes. You know, we don't need no stinking Common.
Yeah. Right.
That size, too. That's quite a
Is
large.
it the
Some
same
are-
size, the 17 acres? Is
No,
that
yeah.
the size?
Same, yeah, nothing's changed.
But better minds prevailed, and they did go through with it.
1848, yeah. In fact, it
1848.
was one of two decisions they had to make. The first was building a school. I think it was the Oliver. I think it was the Oliver School. Either one. Yeah, I think it was the Oliver School. And then accepting the Common. And actually, I guess it was called the North Common at the time. And then the Essex Company gave it to the town then, and they said, yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
At
Good
that
for
time.
them.
Change your
Yeah.
heart.
Now, this is a very impressive monument. Can you tell us a little bit about this, Joe?
Yeah. I'm trying to look
Soldiers
at the date.
and Sailors Monument?
Is that 1881? Isn't it?
1881, yeah.
One. Yeah, because
That was before the Spanish-American War, so that must have been mostly for the Civil War.
that was primarily the Civil War monument
Yeah.
at that time. And the school kids actually raised the money
Oh, yeah?
to have that built. They raised money, and each student, or even anyone who actually donated some money toward the monument would receive that card. And they only have one.
Nice.
Oh, you have one. Yeah, they're made of leather, right?
No, that's
That's something different.
that was
Yeah.
the postcard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is a regular, but it's old. It's original, going
Yeah.
back 1880s. So everyone who donated monies, whatever, got that card.
Nice.
It's a very
Yeah.
impressive monument. It's
It
still
is.
there, of course.
Still, yeah.
Oh, thank you. And it lists the soldiers in the Civil War from Lawrence who were either killed in action, died of disease, that passed away.
And Joe has extensive files. So for our listeners, Joe's apartment is a whole archive.
A little bit.
He's got all the files, I think, in the cabinets, right? The wooden cabinets of all the Civil War soldiers.
3,400, yeah,
3,400.
from Lawrence.
He's got them.
Amazing.
Methuen 628. Methuen, but Lawrence 3,400.
And Joe's got them all.
Now they either were born in Lawrence or they're buried in the city cemeteries. They lived in Lawrence, say, over 5 years plus.
Yeah.
They were a resident.
Yeah.
And they're counted in my listing. Some people don't. Some people only count whoever served or entered the military in a particular city, be it Lowell, Lawrence, Haverhill. Then they would consider that city or town, as their listing. Not me. I list. Not only did they enter the service from, but if they were born, if they're buried in the city, or if they've lived, say, 5 years plus. To me, they're counted as residents
Right.
of the city of Lawrence, coming from the city.
Yeah.
That's how I
That's a
categorize.
treasure. I mean, that's a one of a kind.
Oh, yeah.
Your collection.
Well, it's only 60 plus binders.
That's all. What a
2-inch
slag.
binders, 60,
Those are big
60
binders.
plus. In fact,
Yeah.
I had to buy an extra cabinet. And you heard of Richard's? It used to be Richard's Furniture on Water Street.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was their last customer because no one else had cabinets, bookcases. It was a
Right.
bookcase. So I went to Kelly's. I went to a few other places in Lawrence. No one had it. Finally, I went to Richard's. I said, "Oh, I'll take a chance." They had exactly what I was looking for. They delivered it to my house,
Meant to be.
the cabinet, and a week later they closed.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
Gone.
Well, your apartment's like the Smithsonian, you know, America's attic.
Oh, yeah.
Your
Attic.
apartment is Lawrence's attic.
People say it's a
when
dump.
when you go, they should freeze that and charge admission to go and
Yeah,
see that.
right,
It's really it's astounding.
I don't know.
Astounding
It is.
place.
It's yeah. Lifetime collection. It's a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Labor of love.
Yeah,
Over a lifetime.
that's it. Now, who is this, Joe?
Okay, that's one of the statues surrounding the monument, the Civil War monument. And that statue is of a soldier who served from Lawrence named Micah Brown. M-I-C-A-H,
Yeah.
Micah. Micah Brown lived in Lawrence, and he actually went to West Point. Because Mark
Officer.
came by, we read a little bit of the history, and he's buried at Bellevue Cemetery in Lawrence. But he was an officer in the captain. He was a captain in during the Civil War. So they were looking for someone to use as a,
A model.
model.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of that word, model for that particular monument. I think they have a model of a sailor,
Yeah.
army, and 2 or 3 other.
Do you know who
branches.
they use for models for them?
No.
Do they use live models for them?
We don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but this one we found out.
Joe's got all the files on this guy.
Yeah.
Micah?
Dental records. Probably got his dental records.
Well, close.
to it.
Close. Yeah,
No, he
there's
done it.
the
Now, see,
information.
in 1940,
1940.
they had forgotten.
Yeah.
The thing had been already up there for a generation or two.
Right, 1884, I think it was.
Oh, so they acknowledged who it was in 1940?
1940, I got that, yeah. I was in the thing.
Discounted salary officer on Memorial of Lawrence Common, modeled on like the
Like
Captain Micah Ryder
Ryder
Brown,
Brown.
who lived here.
Yep,
Vale Anonymous, lifted after 60 years.
Wow.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
forget, yeah.
yeah, him and his
I
wife.
hope we're doing something to revive the memory of all those
See,
fallen.
at
Yes.
21, it says he graduated from West Point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here he
There's-
is. Joe's
there's
got
his
all of
stone.
Here's Joe.
Yeah.
Here's Joe's files.
Yep,
I
there's
can't read him very well.
Yeah.
But basically, he died at 36.
Yeah.
36 years old.
Yeah,
And next, please. I think we have a picture of him and his wife.
yeah,
36. There it is.
there they are.
There he is.
Yeah, Micah and his wife,
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown.
She had a lovely daughter, too.
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown.
Oh, you're thinking of this. You can
Nice
tell-
looking lady.
You can tell he was an officer. He has
Yeah.
those epaulets on his
Yeah, the epaulets on the shoulders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely an officer.
Oh, this is his grave, right?
Yeah. the
Did you
stone-
take that
At
picture?
Bellevue?
Did you take that picture?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you know where he's buried exactly in Bellevue. He's in
Yeah.
Bellevue, yeah.
Yeah,
You know where all the bodies are buried.
kind of.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And then not just Bellevue, but between here and Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Whoa.
But thanks to Find a Grave on the
Oh,
computer,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that I didn't have to go too far.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just printed out the information.
Find a grave.
Find a grave. All you need is the first and last name
Mhm.
and the date, and make sure the city or town,
Amazing.
and it'll come up. Yep.
Next, please. Oh, and look at the handwriting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can read that. I think that's his.
It's a list. I think it's a listing.
Yeah,
there.
that's the yellow is his name.
I always
Yeah,
highlight
highlighted
it
there.
if it's a subject
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Look at the handwriting in those days.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
that amazing? You know, I get students.
Penmanship.
Even now, every once in a while, I'll hear this, and it really annoys me. They don't write much,
Yeah.
Mostly it's on computer. When they do, I'll say, "Hey, you're making the I wrong," You're supposed to dot it, or they'll make an E wrong.
Right.
You're supposed to loop it over like that, and oh no, that's the way I make it.
The way.
Well, yeah, but I know that's the way you make it.
The way I
but the
make
way you make it is wrong.
Yeah.
It's like they're stunned.
They don't know.
What? You mean there's like standards? Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You don't get to write. You don't even get to invent your own language.
Yeah.
No, you have to conform.
Even reading it, I gave my grandson a card. He said, "Dad, can you read?" He couldn't read cursive.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the best handwriting, but he couldn't read cursive.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is a kid who's in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
we sound like a bunch of old men. Well,
that's because we are.
Yeah, because we are. Yeah, right. I got to be reminded every once in a while.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we sound like a bunch of old men because we are a bunch of old men.
Well,
And the heck with it.
more or less.
Yeah. Well, your perspective changes with the years.
Yeah.
You have less tolerance for BS. Next, please. No, this is Abbott Lawrence.
Yeah.
This is one of your photos.
Yeah.
Now,
Lawrence.
I asked him last Saturday, I said, who's Abbott Lawrence? He said, well, he's the one that Lawrence is named after. Can you give a little background on this guy?
Amos and Abbott. And he, businessman in Boston, a lot of money, quite loaded.
Yep.
I think he was also in the State House. He had a certain position too. I don't know if it's state rep or something similar to that. Yeah, he had a pretty high position. But he was the Lawrence family.
Yeah.
And they were involved in the Revolutionary War going back.
Yeah.
Deep roots. Is Lawrence Academy in Groton? I
Groton.
think
Groton. That's where the farm.
same family.
Right. The farm actually started there, Groton, and then he ended up going to Boston. Very successful business. Very successful. Him and his brother Amos as well. Amos and Abbott. I almost said Amos and Andy.
Yeah.
But Amos and Abbott. Now, Amos, they named the city of Lawrence, Massachusetts after. Abbott, rather. Abbott Lawrence is Lawrence, Massachusetts. Amos, Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But he had gone to Lawrence, Kansas. And, pretty influential.
So he put up the money to develop Lawrence.
The most.
Really?
The most.
The canals and everything.
He contributed the most.
Yeah.
Because in Lowell, there's that huge building with Lawrence on the side. It must be the same family.
That's the Lawrence Mills.
right,
yeah.
but the same family, I would
It
think.
possibly would be. If they're from Groton,
Right.
it's all them.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, Amos went to Kansas. And then so they named Lawrence, Kansas.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Amos.
Next.
Amos and Abbott.
Here's the
Oh,
Campagnone
Yeah.
Memorial. This is where we get the name.
Yep.
And the story is the three brothers,
Right. World War II.
World War II, they were killed. In,
Now you mentioned Truman earlier coming to
Uh-huh.
Lawrence. I do have a picture which I forgot. It's somewhere of him. He dedicated the monument when it was installed
oh yeah,
on the Common. So he did come to Lawrence for that.
they were killed within 4 months of each other.
Yeah.
And there was a remaining brother.
Yeah.
After the first two were killed,
Yeah.
there was some pressure put on by somebody to have
Right.
the remaining two sent home.
Mhm.
But the rules said only the remaining son, if there's only one can be sent home. And sure enough, the third one got killed.
Yeah.
And then the last one came home. They sent him home.
Oh yeah.
So,
That was
yeah.
like the Sullivans, the five
Yeah,
brothers, the
yeah,
fighting
yeah,
Sullivans.
yeah.
And then there was a movie out a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago,
Saving Private
Saving
Ryan.
Private Ryan,
Right.
based on the
Yeah.
Send
the
them back.
story,
Yeah,
of what happened.
And it was the Italians that put up the money for the Italian people in Lawrence. They put up the money for the monument.
Mhm.
Yeah, had a big collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Truman came to do the dedication.
Now, what year was that they dedicated that?
I don't know for sure. I have a picture of him, but I want to say it's probably after World War II, 47 maybe, 46, 47.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because he was president.
46, maybe.
Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah, something like that.
Roosevelt died in 45, so it's either 46, 47. He came and did the dedication then President Truman. Yep.
Next, please. This is William Lord.
William Lord.
And this is, this is not as well known.
No.
But you see that they did this in 2004.
Right.
William Lord was the only Congressional Medal of Honor recipient from Lawrence. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
And he well, that's what I read anyway.
yeah.
Is that right?
I'll add to that when you finish.
Well, basically, you see, he was one of his soldiers was wounded. He was right in the middle of battle. Two enemies, just a hail of bullets everywhere, and he dragged him through this whole hail of bullets to safety. Saved his life, and it must have been a real hellish thing,
Right.
because those were there nominated for him Congressional Medal of Honor. It's really very poignant statue. I mean, think of the Bible. What does it say? Greater love have no man.
Right.
Look at that.
Now, he was a resident of Lawrence. He wasn't born here, and,
is that
and
right?
he's not buried here.
Is that right?
He moved to New York, and New York State, so he's buried elsewhere. But again, he did live in the city. Now, doing research, as I've been doing with the Civil War guys from Lawrence, I actually have found 3 more Civil War soldiers who received a
Congressional
Medal of Honor.
Really?
And at the time when that monument was installed, the people behind that didn't know for sure how many.
Do you have the facts on them?
Yeah.
Well, we should bring that out in a future program
Yeah.
and do something on them.
Yeah.
You know,
I have 3 more.
in memory of them.
One served in the West, though, but it was during the Civil War time.
Yeah.
But he actually served in the western part of the country. I want to say close, Texas, California, that area. But the other 2 did serve, lived in Lawrence. They were residents of Lawrence. In fact, I have a newspaper article that they failed to see that when they put this monument up for
that's too
Mr. Lord.
bad. That's too bad.
At the time, they didn't know.
Yeah.
I found the stuff. And there it is in black and white. Medal of Honor winner, Lawrence resident.
Well,
They forgot.
we'll have to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, I have pictures
I'm
too.
really,
I
I'm really interested to know.
have photographs of.
Next, please. And this is the Boy Scout monument, isn't it?
I think so.
Is that the Boy Scout monument?
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, the Boy
like the
Scouts
emblem.
put up a monument.
Yeah.
I don't know what year. Do you know anything about that?
Not really. No.
Okay.
No, I don't have info
Okay.
on that one.
Okay, next one, please. Oh, these are
Here's the
really
ice
wild.
monument.
Can you tell us about these?
Well, in
I
the
see,
winter,
I see old pictures of these. It's
know.
amazing.
in the wintertime, someone thought of let's do an ice monument. So they were able to get water, some kind of water pumped up, or somehow I don't know how they did it. They kept on adding water, and as it got, it must have been January or February, and they tried to make it as tall as they could, and they actually did reach the limit, and that's a postcard. I have other pictures of with other people walking around it and surrounding it, but I think they did that every winter, and it's to draw attention and get the people, like you said before, to get the people to go out and use the common. It's there for your use to, look at, walk around, any season, summer, winter, fall, spring. So they wanted people in the wintertime to go out and look at the monument, and they completely covered it with water as it got cold and it froze, and they tried to raise it as tall as they could. So they get the name, the Ice Monument, because there were monuments going around in the Common continuously. The Boy Scout we just saw, and the Campagnone Memorial, and then there's a World War II, and then more recently, 1912 Strike Monument, the Strikers Monument, that Jonas and Dave Meehan put up across from.
I think I have a picture of that.
Yeah,
I think that's coming up. Next, please.
yeah. So that was like a winter project, this ice monument.
Oh, there's the pond.
There's another picture. See how beautiful that was?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice, huh? If we could have that something like that back.
Yeah.
But
It's gone.
it's gone, and you know, there's things have a life and a death. It's a cycle. Life is a
Yeah.
cycle, and then something will happen.
Yeah.
The cycle will be on the uptake pretty soon.
Yep, things change.
Yeah. The pond on the Common,
Yeah.
Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Gone.
Yeah. Only a memory.
Yeah.
Next. Oop. Now, is that still there? That
No.
that thing?
They
There?
took that.
That's gone.
That's gone. They even took that.
I
Okay.
used to. I could not reach the top. I never reached
Yeah,
the top
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Always I slid. It was too slippery,
Mhm.
and it was, of course, angled like a bell.
Yeah.
But I used to go swimming there, and I could not get to the top of that.
Now, they used to have a rim, a stone rim around there. Is that gone too? Or
Oh
do
yeah,
they keep
that's
that?
completely gone.
Everything. There's no trace of it.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Next,
And
please.
that was the Latin power. Yeah.
I wonder what
Again,
happened
the
to that.
changes.
Is that one of your photos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what
Well,
happened to that bell though. That item. What happened to that?
I don't know.
What year did you take that?
About late 70s.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, but I did use that when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I couldn't get to the top.
Couldn't get to the top.
Nope.
Sisyphus.
Yeah.
Was it like slimy? Was it
Very
all-
slippery.
Oh, it must be
'Cause it's
covered
metal.
with
It was
slime.
all
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah. Now what?
I think isn't that the woman's monument?
For the work, the mill work?
No, a veteran. I think it was a woman's veteran
okay.
monument on Lawrence Street side.
I can't read it. I wish
Yeah.
I got a better
was-
picture of that.
In there in the 60s, 70s, I think. Or that's the strike then.
The
That must be
Oh,
the
the
strike.
strike of
Oh,
1912.
that's the workers' monument. That's the one opposite City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonas and Dave Meehan got that put in there for the 100th anniversary, 2012, 1912,
Yeah.
2012. The workers' monument.
I was in the Everett Mill. The exact 100th anniversary. It was actually in there. So the empty mills
Yep.
and stuff. They came out with my son, Adrian, and they had a little service for Anna Lopezzo.
Yes.
Right on the corner where she was killed.
Yeah.
Right, it was
yeah.
right outside the Everett Mills.
At the corner of a General Garden
Yep.
in Union.
Union, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was at
They
the
said
wrong
some prayers
place at the wrong time.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah.
And I read a newspaper article after you mentioned the dedication and I found it in the old Tribune. She was living in Pine Street, Methuen,
Oh,
before she moved to Lawrence. She should have stayed in Methuen.
Yeah.
bad move.
And there's
Yeah.
no monument there on the corner. There's
Yeah.
no
No,
there's no monument there.
there was a small sign, but they took it down, I think. There was
Yeah.
a small sign on the post that said that was the
was it.
location of the...
They couldn't leave it up there.
I
They
know.
had a couple of other people died too. One of them was a kid, I think he was 19.
Yeah. Smallest.
Jonas Smalls.
Smalls, yeah. Yeah.
And then there's somebody else. Do you remember that?
So there were three. I
Yeah,
know of. Yeah. Anna Lopezzo, Smolik, and
You
another.
know, we should do something on this,
Yeah.
on the strike. The thing is, it's such a broad topic. It's going to require a lot of scholarship. And yeah. Do you have any expertise on that? The strike? The strike of 1912?
Just the certain events that
Yeah.
took place at that time.
Yeah.
Like the bandstand should have been kept up because Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, who was a very progressive in her time, spoke from the bandstand, and as did the president of the IWW, International Workers of the World.
Who was that at the time?
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Wild Bill Haywood? was it?
Bill Haywood.
Oh, yeah.
These famous people
Yeah.
spoke from that bandstand,
Yeah.
and the city wouldn't go ahead and tore it down because I heard one summer they had money left over. The DPW had monies that they needed to spend before the end of the year, and there was nothing going on at the time. It was a quiet time, and someone thought, "Well, look at the condition of the bandstand. Why don't we tear it down? Give the guys something to do. Spend the money on that," and they tore it down.
Oh, well,
Oh.
politics.
I'm telling you, and they used to play
yeah.
band music in the summer. It was beautiful. But they took it down. Yep. gone.
Well, next time they have some money, maybe they can build it up again.
In fact, besides Bill Haywood and Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, I think the Italians involved in the strike also would have spoken from there.
Oh, yeah.
And then interpreters like Spanish, Polish, Italians, they would have spoken to a lot of the residents, even, mostly English, yes, but there were some who were non-English mill workers, primarily Polish, the ladies, and then the Italians primarily. So they used to use that bandstand to get to the crowd and explain what's going on. And
It's amazing how they could do that with so many different languages.
Yeah.
No internet, probably not even telephones, or very few.
Yeah, 19.
And how they could coordinate all that is just
Yeah.
amazing.
I do have a small binder of pictures of the strike. And,
We're going to have to do something on this strike.
oh, yeah, there's a lot of
there's
stuff.
Quite a deep dive there.
Oh, a lot happened that year.
Yeah. Okay, next, please. Oh, this is the construction. This is the construction of the monument.
Yeah, but I think, oh no, that's the World War II list.
Oh, yeah. That's the World
Yeah,
War
this one here.
II. Oh, that's still there. of
The
course.
honor roll. That's the
the
municipal honor roll, which was dedicated July 4th, 1944. So they're putting it up there. And unfortunately, it came down during Hurricane Carol in 1957.
Well, they rebuilt it, didn't they?
No.
World War II, that was just
No.
a few months after, a month after D-Day.
Right. And this was the honor roll of all the soldiers from Lawrence who served. After the hurricane, the material was stored in the basement of City Hall. The names, they all disappeared. No one knows where it went to.
Wow.
Where are the names? So they couldn't put another one up.
So they don't know the names?
They're gone. Someone took them. They're missing.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So they didn't do another one after the hurricane took down this one. Medal of Honor. See, all the names are
Well,
listed.
If they wanted to, I think they could find the names.
Yeah, I barely remember that too. I barely remember
Yeah.
that. Right across from City Hall where the Bernstein fountain is. It's right there.
Okay, and this is the.
Oh, that's today.
They have Leonard Bernstein, something for Leonard Bernstein, don't they?
I think the fountain, isn't it?
The fountain?
Named after
I think
him.
the fountain's there. And they
Bernstein.
have something there for
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost.
Frost, too. Yeah. Frost.
Robert Frost, yeah.
Right.
Robert Frost, of course, Laurentian.
Yeah.
Died in 1963.
But I think something happened when he went into that Merrimack River in his bathing suit. And it was so polluted.
Oh, is that right? Tell me the
Robert
story. He went in the.
No, Bernstein.
Oh, Bernstein.
Oh, yeah.
He shouldn't have gone in there, but he liked the water and he just went into the river. And it hadn't been cleaned up at the time. That was so funny.
Oh, yeah. In the 70s, it was a D class.
Yeah.
And the E is like
They
it was
told
dead.
him. They
It was
told
dead.
him, don't go in there. It's I don't. He said, I've been to the East River in New York. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
But he did. He went in his bathing suit.
There's some river somewhere where it caught fire. It was so polluted. Have you heard of that?
Cleveland.
Was it
Was it
Cleveland?
Cleveland?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
The Cuyahoga, I think. But
Yeah.
it is in Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
Right downtown Cleveland.
Wow.
Near the Rock and Roll
Can you-
Museum, it caught
Can you
fire.
imagine
What a
that?
mess.
All the solvents from all
Yeah.
the factories
I'm
that were
surprised
just dumping into the
I'm
river.
surprised the Merrimack didn't, between Nashua, Manchester, and Lowell.
Yeah. It got bad for a while, yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. D class.
Yeah.
And of course, you had untreated sewage
Yeah.
from Lowell, a city of 100,000 people, just flowing down here.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a mess.
What a mess, yeah.
But he still went in. Bernstein still went in. Crazy.
Next, please. Now, which one is this? Do you recognize that? There's a lot of monuments in there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't realize how many there are. I'm getting them confused.
Yeah, I wish I could see the top of that, though. I get an idea. I thought that might have been the Spanish-American one.
Yeah.
But the soldier on top.
Oh, yeah, Cuba. I see. Yeah, Spanish American. Cuba, Puerto Rico.
They spelled Puerto Rico wrong.
Well, that's the way
What
they
do
used to
we
spell it
call
way in the
it?
old days.
I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Spanish American. So the monument is
Yeah.
on top, and it's a soldier.
Yeah.
And what happened? I remember what happened one year. It leaned so far down, it was angled. And I
Yeah.
think it was vandalized. Someone
Oh,
pushed the monument over of the soldier, and they had to repair. They had to
Shore it up again.
repair it primarily, but it fell. It fell on its. It didn't fall off. It just bent at an angle. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's him. Yeah, it
Teddy's
just
Rough Riders.
yeah. And Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt,
Yeah.
was involved with that, and there was a guy that was with him from Methuen.
Oh, yeah?
I can't think of his name. Something he said. He has a statement. His name by my side. So the guy
Mentioning that man.
in the battle during the battle.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. It's not Harrington. It's another name. That he was from Methuen. The soldier that Roosevelt mentioned was by my side.
By
His
my
name.
side, yeah.
Yeah. You see that term?
Wow.
And it was a Methuen guy.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here, friends. You guys have anything to add to this stellar version, this stellar episode of the Lawrence History Project?
Well, the common is still there, and trees have been planted from the groundwork lawns.
Get a lot of use, too.
Yeah.
As we'll see in
probably,
episode
yeah.
2.
They
Yeah.
put signs too, markers, signs
Yeah.
around the main walkway, so you can see you can read what you're seeing primarily,
Right.
which is good. Yeah, so they have signage now. Benches have been done over, and again, a lot of trees. They did away with the ball field, Fenway North, we used to call it.
Yeah.
That's gone. And actually, Mayor DePina has banned the Spanish festival on the
Is
common.
that
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
No more.
What's the reason for that?
Does it get chewed up
It
too
was
much?
desecrating the grounds.
Yeah.
The grounds were getting messed up.
Yeah.
Too messed up. So he decided this past summer, the Spanish festival, is not allowed on the common anymore.
Where is it now?
I think it's at Pemberton Park.
Yeah.
I think they
That makes
moved
sense.
it. Yeah, they moved it there. And they actually had bus service for people who lived in a certain part of the city that couldn't make it to Pemberton Park. They had buses, free.
Well,
free
that's a
busing.
positive thing.
Yeah,
good.
free busing to take them back and forth. So that'll keep the common.
Change your venue.
Yeah, it'll keep it secure and neat looking. Without the stuff. And then St. Alfio Society used to have entertainers,
Right.
and but the park's it's a memorial park, so let's keep it that way.
So that's it from the dynamic trio, everybody in listener land. And we'll see you again very soon. Another version of the Lawrence History Project. Ciao.
Take care.
Bye.